Good day, grade 11s, and welcome to my virtual classroom, the Swaggy School Teacher. My name is Sibusiso Masumbuka, and I am your grade 11 business studies teacher. In today's lesson, we're going to have a look at creative thinking and problem solving, lesson 1. So this topic is quite a big topic, and there's a lot of content to be covered. So I've divided it into 4 different lessons for you to aid you in making sure that you understand and grasp the work in order for you to get that distinction in business studies, because that's why you're here, right? Yeah, cool. So in today's lesson, you will know the need for creative thinking. You will be able to differentiate between routine and creative thinking. You will learn creative thinking skills, problem solving skills, and lastly, you'll be able to differentiate between conventional versus non-conventional solutions. So you're probably asking yourself, how does creative thinking fall into business studies? Well, obviously you did it last year in grade 10, but also at the same time, it's so important for businesses to apply creative thinking in their business, not only to expand and grow their business, but also to come up with solutions to the many challenges that they may encounter either in the micro environment of the business, in the market environment of the business, as well as the macro environment. So we know that businesses usually experience challenges or encounter challenges in their business. Like I said, in the micro environment, a business or may encounter issues such as the staff being unhappy with the management structure, or the staff, you may have new staff that needs to get trained. In the market environment, you may have challenges with your competitors, with your suppliers, or regulators, etc. And then in the macro environment, you may face challenges in the social environment, in the political environment, etc. For example, like right now, we are currently going through a pandemic, COVID-19, where a lot of businesses needed to think creatively on how they're going to tackle this problem, which is COVID-19, and still be able to make maximum profit and still grow and expand their business without trying to retrench their workers. So creative thinking refers to thinking differently and looking at something in a new way. Creative thinking is about approaching a thought or an idea, a problem, or a situation in a new and interesting way. So we're hearing things such as innovation, coming up with new ideas, being creative. It is a process of putting facts, concepts, principles together in a new and in original ways. Businesses need to solve their problems efficiently to find creative solutions to their problems. So as you as an entrepreneur or a business manager, you really want to apply creative thinking in your business so that your business can continue to grow, so you can make maximum profit and be able to tackle problems a lot easier than a business that does not apply creative thinking at all. And you really want to create a space and environment where your workers also think creatively as well. So, you know, in psychology, the right brain is considered to be the brain that is creative. It's the brain, the side of the brain that is expressive in creative tasks. And some of the abilities that are popularly associated with the right-hand side of the brain includes recognizing faces, expressing emotions, creating music, reading emotions, appreciating color, using imagination, being intuitive, and being creative. So, you know, we're not saying that left brain people cannot be creative, but we need to use either side of our brain in order for our business to do really, really well. So we're going to have a look at the difference between routine and creative thinking. You know, just before I get to that slide, what do you think routine thinking is? You know, is it methodical thinking? Do you think in the same way in processes? You know, in creative thinking, we said it's when you think of new ideas. So does it mean that routine thinking is not thinking of original and new ideas? Let's have a look at what our next slide has to say. All right, so let's have a look at the differences between routine and creative thinking. So routine, if you think of it, it's methodical. You do everything by method, nothing out of this world that is different from your thinking. It refers to ordinary or everyday or conventional thinking, whilst creative thinking refers to looking at an opportunity or problem in a new and a different way. Routine thinking, it is suitable for work that requires logical consistency and attention to detail, whereas creative thinking looks at invaluable. It is invaluable in keeping the business innovative, coming up with new ideas, and relevant in a changing market to solve the new problems. It does not lead, routine thinking does not lead to new ideas or a pattern of thought, whereas creative thinking, it leads to an idea that is original compared to existing ideas. Routine thinking, on the other hand, requires businesses to apply old thinking patterns to new situations, whereas creative thinking requires businesses to apply new ways of thinking to old situations. So I've got a little scenario for you guys. Given the fact that we are now in a pandemic, COVID-19, and the president announced that we were in lockdown level 5, and you are an owner of a retail store in Sandton. All right, so you sell clothes, really, really fancy clothes, boutique clothes in Sandton, and that's basically it's an upmarket store, and that's your business. Now, the president has now come up with the idea that we're going to go on a national lockdown due to COVID-19 to stop the spread of COVID-19. So how would you apply creative thinking in your business to make sure that you continue to make maximum profit, to continue to pay your staff during this pandemic? Because we obviously know that retail stores could not operate during lockdown level 5, or even actually they weren't able to sell luxury products. So it was really, really just about the basic goods. I remember I went to one of the stores to go buy slippers the other day, and I was unable to buy slippers. You know, it's ridiculous. But anyway, so how would you apply creative thinking to make sure that your business continues to operate? And you know, as the weeks went by, new levels of lockdown were then unlocked. We got into level 4, level 3, and now we're in level 2. So how would you apply creative thinking? You have staff that you need to pay. You've got products that is in store that needs to get sold before the new season comes. You have competitors who may have an online store and they may continue with trading. How would you continue with operating and making sure that your business continues? Perhaps you could also start your own online store. Perhaps you could cut down on staff or use up some of your savings. You know, businesses, the biggest expense is on salaries. So how would you make sure that it does not impact your staff? Because we all know that if people's salaries had to be cut down or if they had to be retrenched, that would decrease the staff morale, you know, and they would be quite negative and quite, not focused on the work that they need to do because they're constantly worried about job security. All right, so let me know in the comment section how you would go about solving or thinking creatively to come up with those solutions. Whilst we are on solutions, let's have a look at the difference between conventional versus non-conventional solutions. So conventional solutions is solutions that come up or that are a result of routine thinking, and they are ordinary and unimaginative solutions. They are solutions obtained through logical, analytical, problem-solving methods. There is often one solution to a problem. It chooses and looks for what is right. It concentrates on relevance, and it moves in the most likely direction. And then non-conventional solutions, they are different and creative solutions. They are solutions that are obtained from creative thinking. There's often more than one solution to a problem. It changes and looks for what is different. It does not mind change or interruptions or chance interruptions, and it explores the least likely directions. So as you can see, that conventional solutions are a result of routine thinking. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with routine thinking, but what we're saying is that when a business comes across or encounters problems in the macro environment where they don't have control over matters, such as COVID-19, it does not necessarily work with those problems. Whereas non-conventional solutions or creative thinking result in non-conventional solutions, and that really comes up with better solutions to try and encounter the problem in a better way. And helps your business to grow altogether. So I hope you guys are able to understand what the difference is between routine thinking and creative thinking, as well as what they both result in, which is conventional and non-conventional solutions. These are very, very good questions to ask in an exam. So you probably want to write NB or just to make a mental note so that you remember both for when you have to write your final examination. All right, so let's have a look at ways in which businesses can create an environment that can stimulate creative thinking. Remember I said earlier in the beginning of the lesson that it's so important for a business to have a space or an environment where people are able to think creatively. When your employees can think creatively, then they themselves can even solve problems before they can even come to you as the boss. You know, when you have an environment where people can think out the box and can think creatively, then it's easier for people to solve problems as well. But how do you do that? How do you make sure, because people are scared to come up with solutions or come up with solutions to their problems because they're scared of what your feedback would be, and they're scared of their peers, of what they would say, and some of them may even think that their ideas are quite absurd. But if you really look at it, the most successful businesses are the ones that actually think creatively and have what initially they had absurd solutions. So let's have a look at how you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur or business manager, can create an environment that stimulates creative thinking. It says here, businesses must emphasize the importance of creative thinking to ensure that all staff know that their ideas will be heard. So it's either you decide to take your staff members on a boss barrage or a creative thinking session or strategic session where you constantly involve your workers in making decisions in the business. And that also is a form or of democratic leadership style, is involving everybody in making decisions. And obviously you as a business owner has the final decision in the end. It encourages staff to come up with new ideas, opinions, and solutions. You need to encourage job swaps within the organization or studying how other businesses are doing things. So for example, again, with your retail store, perhaps you've just opened shop, it's level 2, and you can now sell all products and you can operate during normal hours, given the curfew that we're given. So now you need to come up with ways on how you can solve issues. Or another issue, or another case study could be the fact that you haven't been making sales in the last couple of months and you really need to start making sales and selling stock out so you can make money. What you can do is perhaps the visual merchandiser who is in charge of how the store looks and where products are placed in the store strategically. And then you also have a counter manager. So the counter manager and the visual merchandiser will then swap jobs for the day, because when you continue to do the same job every day, you really don't think of other ways to sort of solve problems. So the shop counter or the counter manager would then do a visual merchandiser's job and see how they can attract more customers within the store. And then the visual merchandiser will then be the counter manager for the day, and maybe they can come up with easier or better solutions and how the counter manager can manage his counter, maybe have better and sufficient service there, etc. So in that way, people swap roles and they can give each other ideas and see if whether those ideas will work out or not. And then another one says you can study how other businesses are doing things. So you can always do a retail run and maybe go around the stores in Sandton and see what Louis Vuitton or Gucci are doing. Maybe they are attracting more customers, not because of the luxury products that they have, but because of the ambiance of the store. Maybe it smells better. Maybe it's got nice music. Maybe when you walk past the store, the workers are constantly busy and it looks very friendly and has got a welcoming spirit. So maybe you see that in other stores and you can apply those solutions in your own business. All right, it says here that you can also encourage alternative ways of working and doing things. So when when you come up with alternative ways of working and doing things, you are then able to look at different other options on how you can operate your business on a normal day. And it says here, respond enthusiastically to all ideas and never let anyone feel less important. Remember, as your job as a leader or a manager of a business, even as an entrepreneur, is to make sure that people feel welcome, people feel wanted, people feel like they can be heard. So you need to respond enthusiastically, even if their ideas are absurd. You never know when that particular solution or idea may come into place and work out for your business as well. And then the last one says you need to reward creativity with the reward schemes for teams or individuals that come up with creative ideas. Perhaps your security guard in your store says to you, you know what, if we have a celebrity to come in on Saturdays to do a shopping experience for their Instagram page, maybe we will attract more customers. And then the celebrity comes and they do this whole influencing business on social media. And the next Saturday, you have a whole lot more customers coming in, and then your sales eventually increase. So what you would do for that particular security guard is say, you know what, because you have come up with this awesome solution, I'm going to give you a really nice incentive, a 5,000 Rand gift voucher for you to shop around Sandton. You know, in that way, people want to think creatively. In that way, your employees rather, are encouraged to come up with innovative solutions or innovative ways to solve the problems in your business. And that is a winning solution. You really want to have a team that is on your side and a business or an environment that stimulates creative thinking. All right, let's have a look at the ways in which businesses can create an environment to stimulate creative thinking. These are more ways. You can provide a working environment that is conducive to creativity, free from distractions. So maybe have a little room where people can write down the ideas, have brainstorming sessions, perhaps a boardroom where people can just sit, munch on nice snacks and just, a room just that will create a space or a mood of wanting to be creative and think of innovative ways. The next one says make time for brainstorming sessions to generate ideas. For example, regular workshops generate more ideas or build on one another's ideas. So maybe you can take your staff on a bus parade. Like I said earlier, a bus parade is what we call a strategic meeting, where your staff goes away and they are put into different teams and they come up with different solutions to different problems. And they also tell you about the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats of the store. Because when you have more than one perspective to a problem, or to a solution rather, then you're able to solve problems a lot more simpler and obviously then grow to generate more income. Place a suggestion box around the workplace and keep communication channels open for new ideas. So like I said, sometimes people may be scared to come up with new ideas because they're scared of what their peers may say, or they may think that the idea may be absurd. So you have a little suggestion box somewhere in the business where people can pop in new ideas so that so they can help the business grow and so that everybody is happy. And then it says here, train your staff in innovative techniques and creative problem skills, mind mapping, and lateral thinking. In this way, when you train your staff, they also become loyal to your business because you're not only teaching them a new skill, but you're also enhancing their knowledge about their world of work. And, in that way, you're training your staff, but also at the same time, you're also teaching them how to think creatively as well. Now, let's have a look at the benefits or the advantages of creative thinking in the workplace. Complex business problems may be solved. Complex business problems may be the ones that you're encountering in the macro environment where the business has no control over them. And this is when it helps the most. Creativity may lead to new inventions, which improves the general standard of living. Better, unique, or unconventional ideas or solutions are generated through creative thinking. It may give businesses a competitive advantage if unusual or unique solutions or ideas or strategies are implemented. You always want to be better than the other stores. You always want to be better than the other businesses that sell the same or similar products to you, because when you have better services or products that you're offering, you're definitely going to have the loyalty of the customers as well, even when they don't have a lot of money to spend. Managers or employees may have more confidence as they can live up to their full potential by just exploring their minds through creative thinking. Managers will be better leaders as they will be able to handle or manage changes or change positively and creatively as well. More benefits: managers or employees can develop a completely new outlook which may be applied to any task that they do. So even when they encounter a challenge, they know who to sort of bring in to help solve that problem, to think creatively to that. It leads to more positive attitudes as managers or employees feel that they have contributed towards problem solving or improves motivation amongst the staff members. So think of the security guards. They've now generated a lot of income for the business. How do you think they will feel? How do you think that other employees will feel? They may feel good for this person and also want to do the same. Managers or employees they have a feeling of great accomplishment, and they will not resist or obstruct once they have resolved the problem or contributed towards the success of the business. Management or employees can keep up with the fast-changing technology. Creative thinking stimulates brain function of employees or managers as they are continuously pushed out of their comfort zone and improving the total well-being of the employees. Now, you remember in grade 10, you learned about the problem-solving steps. You guys learned a lot about them, and we said this is just a recap. Business problems are unavoidable, and they involve time, thoughts, conflict, and choices that make people very uncomfortable. So when you encounter problems as a business, and like we said, it's inevitable. Every business encounters problems. Every individual encounters problems. But this is how you can solve your problems by using these problem-solving techniques. You identify the problem. You say specifically what the problem is, but in identifying it, you define it. Okay, you formulate a strategy, you implement the strategy, you allocate your resources, monitor your strategy, and you evaluate the process over a period of time to see whether the solution to the problem is working or not. All right. Problem solving also makes it very clear makes it a very clear process to follow whenever a problem needs to be solved. A process of finding the correct strategy to respond to a problem. Problem solving involves analytical and creative thinking, and some businesses use the PDCA, which is process cycle, to solve a problem. PDCA stands for plan, do, check, and act. And we did this in grade 10 last year. In the next lesson, we're going to have a look at the problem-solving techniques, and that is the Delphi technique and the force field analysis technique. And we're also going to have a look at how to assess creative solutions to solve business problems. Guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this lesson, and thank you so much for tuning in. My Instagram handle is Swaggy School Teacher. Join all the other learners in that virtual social media page. The Google Classroom, where you guys can get these slides to aid your studying. The code is on the screen. Please download the Google Classroom code, and I upload the slides as the days go by. And then if you have any queries or questions or need extra help with business studies, please do not be scared to email me. And there's no such thing as a stupid question. So please ask me as many questions as possible, so then I know that you're interacting and you're learning very, very progressively. The email address is swaggyschoolteacher@gmail.com. Thank you so much, grade 11s, and I will see you in the next lesson. Cheerio.